Good morning, good evening, and even a little good afternoon in between, wherever time you're listening to the Stiletto Talks podcast. Again, my name is Paula Johnson-Hutchinson, and I am the host. Now, here at Stiletto Talks, we talk about business, balance, and life. And so if you feel like that you are someone that fits that as a female entrepreneur, we certainly want to hear from you. So the way that you can get on the show is by dropping an email at contact@paulajhutchinson.com. The way to listen to the actual podcast is by going to stilettotalks.podbean.com. And then you can also find us on iTunes under the Stiletto Talks podcast, as well as on Google Play under the same name. So I am super excited today because we have one of my all-time faves on the call. We have Live Free on the call today and on the show. And listen, this is where we're about to go down. So if you all, unless you just don't live on Earth, this is being recorded during the middle of the pandemic. And certainly we send prayers, love, and light to everyone because we're all impacted both directly and indirectly by this pandemic. And so this is a historical time. It's been 102 years since the last major pandemic. And here we are in this unprecedented time and literally shut down. I'm here in Arizona. We're shut down. And the owner of Live Free is actually shut down in quarantine in Louisiana. So this is about to be a great show on just so many levels of just talking to you about how we're all managing, just not just as business owners, but as human beings, because we're human first and we all have families. And so I really want to provide Rochelle the opportunity to introduce herself, but I'm going to give you all just my personal introduction, of course, as she is one of my faves. So, Rochelle, I met her a few years ago. Again, we've done the Stiletto Talks events for quite some time now. And in the process of doing these, I was able to meet Rochelle, and I mean just as funky as she can be. And she was in the process of starting her Live Free product. And I'm going to let her share her story of why healthy products are so important, but we kind of connected because we were on the same path. I was providing healthy hair care products. She was also looking to provide healthy products. And so ironically, we both have hair products, but how about you can be in not necessarily in a unfriendly competition and both be supporters and big fans of one another. And we are both certainly that. So that's also why I wanted Rochelle to be on the podcast. And so her products are absolutely amazing. We have stayed in touch over time. Whenever we have an event in Baton Rouge, she is always a booth, a fixture, and a staple. And we have all just watched her grow her brand. She's been featured in 225. She's got products at local pharmacies there. The product started out small, and I'm going to let her tell her personal story for her family and her business. But when I tell you, literally started out small and truly a homegrown business, OMG. I cannot wait for you all to find out so much more about her. I recently, of course, during the pandemic, have gotten some hand sanitizer from her. Oh, my God. I want to tell you all just because I'm holding the box. Okay, so I'm holding the box because I just want to make sure that I provide an accurate description before she says one word on here. So I got this box the other day. She inboxed me and said, let me know how you like everything. And I opened this box, and when I tell you this box is like I am VIP, like I'm about to be an ambassador for a product. Oh, my goodness. So I opened this product, and there is this cute little sticker with thank you, and then it has Live Free along with the website, okay? So this is already my invitation that, you can go slide back over and buy more products. And then you open it. And these are the cutest hand sanitizers in ever. And within this, beautiful packaging, products laid so neatly. And then inside, it has a thank you, thanking you for using the product. It's a little small little card, nice little square, maybe like a 2x2, a little bit bigger. And it says thank you. And the first thing that it says is that we truly appreciate your support of our family owned business. And so this is just a big deal. And then she goes on to talk about what their main purpose is, which of course is to reduce the exposure of harmful chemicals to families. So I feel like she is invested in my family. Her business is invested in my family and the health of us. And especially with all that's going on right now, this was just so refreshing to see. So without further ado, I would like to bring on one of the owners, because this is a family-owned business, Miss Rochelle Calhoun of Live Free. Yeah.
Yay! My face is hurting from smiling so much at that great introduction. You make me feel so special. I mean, my goodness.
I got my product, and I'm telling you, I was like VIP. I used to call my husband in the office. Of course, and my entire home is working from home right now. And so I called him in the office, and he was like, that's nice. So he has already swiped a natural, look, y'all, natural hand sanitizer. So while everybody's trying to use vodka and all this other kind of stuff, there's someone that has a natural hand sanitizer that smells so good. You will know if your family uses hand sanitizer. It smells so divine. And it feels so good on the hands. And with me being in Arizona, it's so arid here. So, oh my goodness, It feels so good. So thank you for just such an amazing creation. I'm going to ask you about how you came up with that formula, so that is so divine. But first and foremost, because of course we know each other, so we can probably really go there. I want you to tell the audience a little bit more about who you are, and then just who you are in general, family, and how you came to be Live Free.
Sure. So I'm Rochelle Calhoun, originally from Los Angeles. I moved to Baton Rouge to attend the Southern University and A&M College, graduated, became a teacher, got married to my wonderful husband, Jonathan Calhoun. And as newlyweds, we were exposed to the dangers of household chemicals and body care products. So we were like freaking out, like, oh my God, we're going to die. Like, what is in this stuff? So, we start going through our products and we're seeing all the ingredients that we are putting on our bodies. And we start what we call detoxing our home, because I used to be a consultant for a major skincare company, and I loved their products until I realized that I was selling something that was toxic, something that could contribute to cancer and infertility and other reproductive issues in women and even in men. And so I quit at that point. I discontinued being a consultant for that company. And we started, like I said, detoxing our home, getting rid of things. And most of my life, my hair has been natural. I'm from Los Angeles, and that's just how it is there. And I relaxed my hair when I became a teacher in 2000. I relaxed my hair a year after I became a teacher. And so I relaxed in 2008. So this was in 2012 that I was like, you know what? I'm growing this relaxer out. Started growing my relaxer out, and, things kind of snowballed for us. It was like, you take these baby steps and the Lord leads you. And as you learn more, he starts opening your eyes more. And so I used to use the shine serum on my hair to make it shiny. And I was like, I don't want to keep using this to make my hair shiny. And it has absolutely no other benefit. And in reality, it's slowly, killing my system. It's invading my body with chemicals that I don't want in there. And so I started making my own hair product, like a hair butter, which eventually became our moisturizing hair souffle. And it was the same thing that happened with our cleaning products. I didn't want to use the blue liquid cleaner anymore. And so I start, my mom used to clean the house with vinegar, and I always wondered, like, why do you use that? And so now here I was cleaning my house with vinegar. And so then I started, adding different ingredients to this to add more disinfecting power, something to make it smell better. And that was our first glass cleaner. And so we didn't want to start a business. We didn't even think about starting a business. We were just making products for us, and we would give them to family members and, hey, happy birthday, here's some hair butter, or I just made this, you want to try it, but not with the intention of actually running a business until 2015. My husband's aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer. And, I've had I think maybe one family member who had cancer, but she was a smoker. She ended up with lung cancer. But to have someone that you really can't put a finger on why, that's how cancer used to be in my mind. Like, if you got cancer, it was because you smoked cigarettes. But I never really knew anyone close to me who had cancer. And we didn't know, like, well, is it hereditary? Like, how do you get, like, where does it come from? And so we never really had the conversation ever anywhere about the chemicals in our products, not with family, because, who talks about that at Thanksgiving dinner? But we started wondering, I wonder, like, if we start offering our products to other people, would it help them to reduce their exposure to these chemicals that can contribute to the development of cancers? Because cancers are developed two ways. They're either genetic or they're environmental. And so if we could help people to reduce their exposure, could we help some people live? And that's why we titled the company Live Free, because we want everyone to live free of these toxic chemicals, live free of disease that's possibly preventable. And so we started the business in November of 2015, and it was ugly. We started with $300. Our jars were ugly. Our packaging, our labels were ugly. But we started, and the people actually liked the product, which always, still to this day, I'm amazed when people tell me that they like the product. I'm like, really? Like, it's not just in my mind, like it works for you too? And so the next year we started working on our branding and our look and how we wanted to present it. And now we're here in 2020, and we look totally different than we did then. Our products have, we ship all over the country, and it's been a beautiful thing, especially now that, like you said, we can offer a natural aloe vera hand cleaner that does not dry your hands out and, make you feel stripped the same way that the hand sanitizers in the mainstream stores do. So it's been right. It's been a roller coaster ride, though.
Listen, and I am so glad. So you have, I had some notes that we were going to kind of get scripted, but I think we're going to kind of go a little unscripted because you dropped so many nuggets in this. Because during this time, a lot of people are idle. So this is a good time to possibly, if you're not directly impacted, to possibly consider your business. But the number one thing that I hear all the time, as a mentor for an organization, as someone that creates events for small businesses to come out and showcase themselves, is I don't have any money. I don't have no money. This is a famous song and dance about money, especially if you're really analytical. For those of you who want to be in business, certainly we respect analytical, because, of course, you got to have analytics in there, because you got to know about the money. You got to know your pain points, what's coming in, what's going out. And so we certainly respect that part. But entrepreneur side of it is just really that risk taking. And so there are going to be some risks that you're going to have to calculate in there too. And then sometimes you just got to throw it out there. And that's the only way to know. So what I love is that you all started an entire brand with $300 in 2015 that's still going today in 2020. So I think contributed to some of your success, because I'm just kind of going over the whole story, is that number one, you created your brand around a name and a purpose. So your name is your purpose. So that's really important. So that's easy to keep up. So that's believable and it's authentic. And consumers look for authentic brands. And so if you share the same stories that you share with your first initial customers, that's why you're still in business today. And so I know it's one reason why I didn't know all of the details, but I certainly knew quite a bit of that as well. So I applaud you, being young entrepreneurs too, that you figured that out early, that, hey, we're going to create a name around the purpose, and started a business, because I'm going to say this again, y'all, $300. And she admitted that it started out ugly, but the business was started because along the way, you learn how to get better. You know, I mean, nobody knows if it was ugly or not. You just got started, you know, and that's been about 5 years ago or so. And 5 years ago, it was not always, you know, it was not always pretty. You know, home businesses were really starting to bloom at that time. Really, people were starting to transition out of the workforce. Certainly right after the recession, people were starting businesses out, maybe '08, where it was really getting popular. Of course, I was already in business for myself, so I was a little further down the road. But you saw a lot of small mom and pop businesses start up. And a lot of them started out doing their own labels, so they didn't have money. So you might start out ugly at first, but the product has been consistent. So you put where you could not do the labels the best, you know, the branding the best, you made sure the product was on point, because that's the main thing that's selling. And so Rochelle brings home a point that in business 101 is just so important. The story got to match. The brand story, branding and brand story, and that's what I do with consulting. This is something that's so important. So a lot of people say, I need to have $1 million. You can have $1 million and fail.
And then you lost $1 million.
And you lost $1 million because of the fact that you do not have a consistent brand story that people can identify with to even try your brand. And then your product may not be consistent. So definitely think more about making sure that your product is on point. And I love the fact that she had already tried it on herself. She had already tried it with family and friends to get that feedback. So you kind of, even though you might have been a little fearful, you kind of knew that you should be able to at least sell what you made. So that's really good. And I love the fact that you talked about detoxing your home. Listen, y'all, everybody's at home. So this is a perfect time if detoxing your home is important to you. And we kind of created our products behind the same narrative. I had some clients who were cancer survivors and those that were doing gastric bypass at the time. So some of them, in both cases, were losing their hair a lot. So they were looking for healthier alternatives because they already had to change their diets and certain things anyway. So they were challenging me. So that means me sending them to the hair store for brand A, B, and C was not working for them. And so I had one client in particular, and she was like, why don't you create something? You know, so kind of the same story. I was challenged, like, okay, this is not working for us. So I kind of got pushed into that as well. While I may have already been in the salon industry, beauty industry, creating my own formula kind of was in my mind, but it wasn't at the forefront. My clients pushed me into it. And so kind of the same need. And so just being obedient, I think in both situations, being obedient is really important. And I love the fact that Live Free exists from just that obedience of, hey, we're detoxing our home, and you all went through a process and can share that story together. And then you talked about your spouse is involved. So tell me and tell the audience, how does this work with having your spouse involved with the development of your business?
Yes, we're co-owners, and it is a beautiful thing because we balance each other out so beautifully. You mentioned earlier about the risk taking. Jonathan is very much more the risk taker than I. There's occasions where I am definitely like, here I am, Lord, send me. And then there's occasions where I'm like, that's too big of an investment. No. But, you know, so we balance each other out. I'm more of the creative. You know, I started our first labels, I designed those on Microsoft Publisher. But over the years, I've learned, Photoshop. I have a degree in marketing. I also have a degree in education and broadcast journalism, mass communication. So all those kind of work together in helping us to create and keep our brand consistent. So I do most of the marketing, things like that, like you're talking to me now, or, if you see our videos, you're mostly going to see me. If I'm dealing with an event that's coming up, or whoever I'm speaking with, or, making business transactions, if it's over the phone, you're most likely going to be in contact with me. If it's in person, you'll probably get both of us. And if you have both of us, you'll have our children there as well. Because we are in business and we're training them up as well because they're homeschooled. So we want them to be exposed to entrepreneurship and know that this is an option for you. And so that's Jonathan
awesome.
He's a business manager. So that's what he brings to the business, the logistics, those detailed things that as a creative, free thinking mind, I often leave out.
Right.
The nitty gritty, as we call it, that's Jonathan. He's much more structured, much more detail oriented. I'm much more free spirited. So we balance each other out really well. And I love it. Like he's considered an essential worker right now, so he's still working, but I wish he was here, to work with me during this time because we're doing a lot more virtual events. And he is a character, and I love how we interact with each other in business and in life. So it's been fun. It's a lot of fun. And it also provides a little outlet for us. Sometimes we have to do events and we can't always bring our kids with us. And so it gives us a little bit of, husband and wife time as well as, business partner time. So it's fun.
And it's so funny you say that. We're the same way. My husband does come out with me for certain events. Most people know second to none, they see me with my particular brand or Stiletto Talks, you're going to see me. But you're going to always see my husband as well because he's the same thing, the logistics. So, again, y'all, you have a couple here with Live Free who are simply, they've identified who does what well. and working the brand together and have learned how to brand. And then they're also using their degrees, which is also really fun. Some people abandon all of their education and it's cool. It just depends on how you're feeling right now. But sometimes you're going to find that some of those classes that you took back in the day that you could not stand, you're going to need those to help you be able to identify people that may be talking fast. If you are needing to go over contracts, if you are doing some type of consignment sales, you may need that so that way you'll understand the percentages and the payouts. Someone that maybe has more of the credit side of the marketing component to it. If you needed to go on television where you are really on a short timeline to talk about your product, so you really have to hit it home. And I've seen you all in all of those capacities. And so like you said, of course, that journalism allows you to also help you identify who you're going to go after to try to get your product seen in those particular genres or those particular magazines, whether it's digital format or actually in person, some type of write-up, some type of news review or something like that, some type of blog review. So all of these things are really important. If they did not have the education for it, it may be really difficult to do. So I love the fact that you brought that up. And then that you all have learned how to kind of be romantic with this too. This is kind of part of your thing. This is part of your marriage too. So this is also really, really good. And the good thing about it is that it sounds like you two hold each other accountable and that, and like you said, you both just bring the two different vibes to the table when it comes to Live Free. So it sounds like it's very much both of you. Now, share with us a little bit about what makes your product unique. So, of course, there are a lot. Natural came on maybe about 15 years ago, and it started out kind of slow, and then it really grew, and it just snowballed into this thing where as we all become more aware of products and what's in things and what we're ingesting in our bodies, what can be easily absorbed into our bodies. And even with this pandemic, we're learning like how fast, like people don't realize. I heard a physician say that the average person touches their face 23 times an hour. So that has been an issue. People are touching things and they touch their face and then they realize that they have some. So we realize how fast our bodies can take on certain things. And so now we're more aware of our immune system, what's breaking us down, the things we can do to keep our immune systems up. So you could tell that you all have been really on the forefront of learning more about, like you said, detoxing your home, what products that you felt you were even working for a company that you felt like, you know what, I like y'all and everything, but your products are toxic, and you actually left the company because you didn't believe in, promoting a toxic brand. And so with that being said, what makes your brand unique when it comes to a natural product? Because it's such a diverse playing field. How do you all identify your niche in such a wide field?
So I think the difference between Live Free and other brands is that we made the products for ourselves. And so we actually use them, and we don't sell anything that we don't believe in. So our son has eczema, and he's diet controlled because we know his triggers. However, during springtime, or if he gets sick or something like that, his eczema will flare up. Well, the first time he had an eczema flare up was when he was about 2 or 3 months old, and the doctor recommended steroid cream. And, I'm asking questions because that's what I do. What is it? What are the side effects of the steroid cream on my brand new baby? What's in it? Well, in that explanation, she explains to me that it will thin his skin and it possibly won't grow back. Well, then, ma'am, that's not an option for us. And
wow. Yeah. What a side effect. Yeah.
Like his skin won't grow back. So, okay, well, let me find out how I can do this on my own. And so if his skin is irritated, and one thing with eczema is that everybody has a different trigger, and asthma and eczema are like cousins. And so if asthma runs heavily on my side of the family, thank God he does not have it, but he does have the eczema. So when he's triggered, I know that I can take our Whipped Body Mousse and I can rub him down, and it's going to start to reverse that. It's going to help his skin to be soft, which is really important with eczema, is keeping the skin moisturized, keeping it soft so that it can help to heal itself, because eczema is an immune response. So your body is inflamed. So if you can help and put something on it that can reduce that inflammation, then you have a product. So what makes our brand unique is, one, we make our products for ourselves. We don't make anything that we don't actually use ourselves. Two, we are serious about not including ingredients that are carcinogens or cancer causing. We do not use any artificial fragrance at all, or any smell that that's included in our products are either plant extracts like vanilla extract or essential oils. We do not believe in using any artificial fragrance because they are hormone disruptors. They contribute to infertility. They contribute to other hormone-based cancers like breast cancer. And we are just against it completely. So you won't catch that in any of our products. Also, we believe that what you put on your body is just as important as what you put in your body. And so since our bodies are exposed to toxins in 3 ways: what you ingest, what you inhale, or what you absorb. And we believe that our products should be safe, not just for you to ingest, inhale, or absorb, but for your children. So if my son gets a hold of our exfoliating body polish and he eats it, he won't die. We won't have to rush him to the hospital and have his stomach or anything like that. And so that's very important for us, for them to be family friendly, kid safe, and to work natural, but work. I used to be a big fan of that very fragrant store in the mall. That show I won't name. I was a big fan. When they had those 3 for 3 sales, I would stock up. I would buy them as gifts. I loved their products because they smelled so good. I did not know that they were toxic. and that they could cause all types of different issues because we layer our products. And so that causes something called bioaccumulation, where these toxic ingredients build up in your system and cause reactions that have not been studied. And so layering on a shower gel and then a lotion and then a body spray and then possibly a perfume plus your makeup, plus your hair products, how much exposure are we getting just from those products every day? So it's very important to us that our products be safe all the time, no matter how many times you use them. Also, because we do use natural ingredients, plant extracts, plant butters, seed oils, essential oils, they have medicinal properties as well. Now, legally, we cannot say this will heal you of eczema, but I can say it will calm your eczema. It will soothe your eczema. This will reduce the appearance of dark spots. I can't say it will completely get rid of them because there's, legal issues there. But that's what really makes our products different. I've heard of a lot of even mainstream brands that, they do what's called greenwashing, where they state that this product is natural. They give it a natural color scheme and it looks really good, but you turn that bottle around or that jar and what do you see? Fragrance. And that's as women, we like those smells and that draws us in, but that's also what's really hurting our bodies. So as a person, everything needs to be natural.
Yes. And as a person who studied microbiology for 3 years, also at the Southern University as well, I love hearing the fact that you are explaining the science behind it. And it's just so important. And as a licensed stylist, I also feel like we study hair, skin, and nails. So it is so refreshing to hear someone where that may not be your original original background, that you have really studied and shown yourself approved with this type of knowledge, because it's really important. And it has been a long time since I've heard about bioaccumulation, which is so important. And I'm glad that you brought it up. And I think that the more education that you're continuously providing, and I know that we're going to get into what you all have coming up shortly, that the products are going to continue to sell and fly off the market. Now, look, I hope y'all not like one chicken sandwich that could not survive. We're not going to mention their name either. But if you know about the chicken, they were not ready for their blessing. And so I know that eventually, the more people learn about your products, what they do, and then learning more about your story as well as your level of education in it, and the more you educate people on your products and what you have in it, they're going to continue to not only fly off the shelf, they will probably never make the shelf because you'll be constantly shipping them. So with that being said,
to receive it.
Yeah, you got to, be ready. I'm looking for y'all to, don't be like the sandwich. We're not going to bring them up, but we know who they are.
I can tell you right now, it is tough getting our hands on our ingredients because everyone's buying all the same ingredients at the same time. And it has been so difficult, but I am praying that things will get better with, having access to our supplies as things, kind of calm down and people aren't freaking out and buying all the bathroom tissue anymore.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up because I'm actually about to get just into that particular question. So how has your business adapted to this unprecedented pandemic? Because this is interesting times. I've had to make quite a few adjustments, and you and I talked about this before we started actually getting into your segment. But I want to know, and I know the audience is going to want to know, especially a company that has thrived. You thrived on $300, and you have grown to this particular phase right now, and like you say, you're shipping all over the country. And then you have something like this happen, such as a pandemic, and then it may limit some of your natural supplies because right now, like you said, people are so spooked, they're buying anything and they're being influenced by a lot of things on social media, making their own products, doing all kind of stuff, making it wrong, burning skin, so many injuries and all kind of stuff, taking liquor, drinking liquor and making certain things, and really create potentially hazardous conditions for themselves. So they are buying up quite a bit of things. And then even for some other things that I do. I've seen where I've gotten emails with, hey, products are out of supply, especially a lot of essential products. So how are you all handling this, especially being a natural company? I'm sure that those are a lot of natural ingredients or some things that are possibly flying off the shelves right now in bulk. How's it affecting your business, especially when you're competing? Again, healthy products is such a broad market. So how is Live Free holding up right now?
Well, I can tell you this. We have 4 local retailers that offer our products, and one in particular, our aloe vera hand cleaner, sat on the shelf for months, and then all of a sudden it was all gone. And so we're having to ask really just for grace and patience, because the same ingredients that we used to be able to purchase and it be here within a week is taking 2 to 3 weeks to show up. So even our packaging, like you talked about, how cute the bottles were for the hand cleaner. And I really could have teared up a little bit, because our next run, they're not going to be in those cute little bottles because we could not get them, and they won't be in stock for like a couple of months. And so, as you know, for me, as someone who wants my product to look a certain way, I bought those bottles because I thought they were cute and didn't consider how a wrap label would go around it. And so our first batch of those hand cleaners, the wrap labels were crooked because of the shape of the bottle. So you'll notice the new ones, they have a label on the front and a label on the back. So it looks a lot better. But it has been difficult just getting our hands on those products, on those ingredients, like I said, because everyone's buying the same things at the same time. So what we have started doing is shifting our education aspect so that people, they're at home. So we're teaching a lot more virtual classes. Last week, we did the virtual spa party where we did talk about some of our products that we use to, just for self-care. We exfoliated. I actually did a pedicure on Jonathan live on Facebook.
All right, Jonathan. All right, Jonathan.
We exfoliated his man foot on Facebook Live just to show people, like, this is self-care. Our products, those essential oils, that lavender essential oil is just so calming and relaxing. Get you some tea, some nice peppermint tea or chamomile or, something, and relax with Live Free. But we also were teaching about other products that I use, because yes, I'm all about things being natural, safe, non-toxic, but I do like makeup. I do like nail polish and all the glittery girly things, but I want them to be safe as well. So, I polished my nails with some of my favorite non-toxic nail polishes, and just letting people know that there are other options out there for you for non-toxic products. So we did that. And so we also are teaching about clean beauty products on April 1st at 7:30 to once again show that you can be natural and still use natural everything, as I call it. Your makeup is natural. It's clean. It's non-toxic. It does not have, there's an ingredient in mainstream makeup that can cause, if you're pregnant and you are exposed to this ingredient, it can cause your male unborn baby it can cause his reproductive organs to not develop properly because of this one ingredient in color cosmetics. Yes. So, I really just want to show people that you have options, that you don't have to look to these companies to, provide whatever it is that you think you want. You have options. You vote with your dollars. I don't want to use something that's going to cause birth defects. I want to use clean beauty products. So we've been really just kicking up that education aspect online versus having our classes. Like we do the home detox class. We do the what's in your purse, where we talk about those essentials that we keep in our purse and why they need to be clean and natural, because we're using them all day. So like I said, we just pivoted to teaching more online. And I think we're going to do that weekly. Next week, we're teaching on how to make your own baby wipes. Hopefully after that, we'll have something else coming out for you so that we can consistently teach while everyone is at home, and they can start detoxing their home and detoxing their products as well. And it's not just for the benefit of selling live-free products, but just for the benefit of educating our community, because it's information that everyone needs to know.
And so that is just such an amazing idea. And I did a live the other day, and I talked about identify what big companies are not doing it, and you do it. And I love the fact that nobody's doing on a large scale what you just said, and you're doing it. So you being first and being able to get people to share that information, and then, of course, purchase the products that are available right now, and then be ready to sign up for lists if they want to, so that way in future they can still shop and buy, because I'm still shopping and buying. I got my stuff.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes. And so what I like the fact is that business isn't closed. You've just shifted the way you're running your business, and then still providing it. Now you're incorporating education and community into your brand, and along with still running your business as usual. So that is that's phenomenal. And that's some veteran business quality stuff. So that is awesome. Now in terms of you got it. You got that. Now in terms of, you talked about the upcoming events. You all have pretty much, you're going to do the whole month of April. And again, we're doing this segment kicking off because right now with everything that's going on, guys, this is the time for you to also think about self-care. If you watch the news enough, if you're looking at social media enough, you're going to find yourself really anxious. And being anxious like that is not good for the body overall. And so we wanted to make sure that we, here at the Stiletto Talks podcast, we're discussing ways to self-care, to detox. And I love how you just brought that word up without even knowing it. That's really what this segment is about, is that you need to detox. You need to kind of think about some self-care. And, of course, body butters, shampooing your hair, going into your purse, clearing out old makeup, some things that aren't healthy for you. This is time for self-care and self-focus, because how we will all be changed when this is over. We will all be forever changed. And I think this is a great time, if you're going to be at home anyway, to start that detoxification process, and then doing some lifestyle changes, because you're able to kind of manage it and get it into more of a habit, because you are at home mainly, unless you're an essential worker. Generally, some people are either working from home or they may be just off at home right now, homeschooling and so on and so forth. There's a lot of common language around the world. Homeschool is a common language. Of course, self-care is a common language as well. And so we want to make sure that we let you know what's available out there. And so you all are doing Facebook Live and Instagram Live as well, or?
I am hoping to do Instagram Live simultaneously. We had some technical difficulties last week, and so we're hoping that we can do them both. But we're definitely on Facebook Live.
Great. So the cool thing also, too, guys, about Facebook Live is that they don't disappear or anything. Of course, it will be on again. That's just a great option. In terms of the most valuable piece of advice, Rochelle, because again, you and your husband have done a lot of trial and error together. You all have gotten yourself featured in a lot of magazines. You all have gotten yourself a lot of press, and then in outside of magazines, and now you're into these stores. You're into the retail component of it. You're on the online component of it as well, and then you do the events. Physical events. What is the most valuable piece of advice you would give an entrepreneur, and why?
Just one.
I mean, you can give a few, but I want to know the main, top one that you feel, with all that you've been through in this time in your business, everything that you've gone through so far, the way you're expanding and the way you're going, and even looping in what's going on right now and how you've had to make those adjustments, what's the most valuable piece of advice you would give them?
To trust the skills, abilities, and giftings that the Lord has put inside of you.
Wow, that is big. I need you to say that again and then explain why.
You have to learn to trust the skills, abilities, and the gifts that the Lord has put inside of you. And the reason why I say that is because it takes a great deal of confidence to operate a business. You cannot be insecure. And I believe that the Lord gives us gifts that help us to operate our business. Like when you introduced me, you talked about how bubbly I am. And that helps me in my business. That's just naturally my personality. But that helps my business because I love to talk to people, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschool, so I love being out amongst other adults. So I'm like, hey, let's talk. Let's talk. And so also, like I said in the beginning, when we started, I designed our labels on Publisher, and they were ugly. And then we actually had somebody professionally design our logo, and I loved it. And we had our labels designed. But then as, you know, sometimes as you grow, your designs grow as well. Like you want to change, and I wanted to change. I wanted something different, but I didn't really know what it was that I wanted. And we had paid for someone to do it for us, and it wasn't turning out the way we wanted. But the Lord gave me a dream and showed me the design in a dream. And that's the label that you see now. So
that is awesome.
Yes, you have to trust that the Lord is giving you what you need to operate your business as long as you stay with Him and you keep Him at the forefront. Because there's days when I'm feeling stressed and overwhelmed and I can't design anything. But when I get up and I put the Lord before my day, I can design all kinds of things. And it comes out just the way I want it. And it's like, Lord, I know that came from you because I can't do this on my own. My creativity comes from you, you know, and so trusting that. Also, don't compare yourself to other people. You have your own lane. You have your own niche, and comparing yourself is saying, God, what you gave me is not good enough. I want what she has. I want what she has. And so you stay in your own lane. You stay in your own niche, and you stay focused. You don't look to the left or the right. And you make sure that what you do is excellent. And that's all you can do.
Listen, that's a whole sermon. That's a whole sermon. I know a lot of us are probably online having to do virtual church, but if you missed today, that was a whole sermon that will preach. I never compare myself to nobody. So those that know the name of my salon, you know that the name, a lot of people think it came from a rap group, and I used to say that because they're also from LA. So I used to go, oh, yeah, second and nine. But as I got older, I realized that name means something. It means that I know who I am. I know what I've done. And I've earned the right to be at the table, and I'm going to be there. And if you don't want me at that table, I don't have no problem building my own. And I've been blessed to be able to create an avenue, not just for myself, but if you operate in God's talents, come run it over. And He allows me to not just do it for myself, to create that space for others as well. So I love what you said. With the most profound thing you said is just that when you compare yourself, you are saying that what He gave you is not good enough. That's a message, girl. Trademark that. That's put it on the shirt. Look, you know we love the shirt. So I mean, put it that's just such a profound message. And as we've done Stiletto Talks, we've had so many people to come on. And I can tell you that everybody has discussed their faith and how they started out. And because most people have started out just out of their own personal need and how you all have grown. And then for me, I've known some of you all personally and watched you grow through the process. So to see where you are today and listening to this future guru and healthy product lifestyle is just amazing to hear it. I'm so glad to hear it. And what I would challenge people to do is go back, play this, go back once you realize that it's dropping that kind of heat on here. Get you a journal and take you some notes, because it's really important. You're talking about Rochelle has her family, her children. She has homeschool going on. You have spouse. You have business going on, and you can make it work. It may not always be pretty.
Right.
Yeah. It may not always be pretty, because I can tell people some days this is downright ugly. It is an ugly event, being an entrepreneur, but there are more often than not just amazing days, and the connections that you make with other entrepreneurs, that's what keeps you going. That's what connects you. That's what you need to keep the movement. So I applaud you. I think that what you all are doing is simply phenomenal. And we've been trying to get on here to do this for quite some time. But I do believe in time and season. And just ironically, obviously, we all got time. And I reached out to Rochelle, and she's like, yeah, I got time. We all got time. So we decided to get on today. And I think this is the right season, because, again, you work from home as well. And so you can teach people how to be productive at home, because what I see online right now is people are struggling to be at home. It's like you pray for this time, like, oh, I'm tired. You're at home. And then they're like a little busybody. They don't know what to do with themselves. They get in trouble trying to go outside. People tell you stay inside. And I think it's hard for many to deal with themselves, and they're nervous and scared to start their own business. So keep in mind, she started hers at 300, and it might take you more, it may take you less. But she just got started. And I think that is so profound, and that you all, you had a vision together. And then just when you order the product, I'm going to let her tell you where you can find her products at. When you see the label is literally, it is just divine. And she said that it came to her, God showed her that in the dream. So, if God is keeping you up at night with these dreams, it's worth you doing. It's worth you at least putting it out there. And as she stated before, she didn't know how people would receive the product, and she was surprised, like, oh, it works for you too. So what he gave you is not just for you, it is for others as well. And so they have certainly found their niche and growing. And we here at Stiletto Talk Podcast just wish y'all the best. I'm a faithful client. And something we didn't talk about is their deodorant. They have the best natural deodorant like in ever. So if you are someone that is transitioning, and I notice a lot of people are transitioning to natural deodorant. I think for some reason that's one of the first things I saw people really starting to transition to in the last 2 years. That is because it's out of aluminum. You figured out that the aluminum or certain products, ingredients, it can be really dangerous, especially for women of color. Very dangerous because you may be more prone, more disposition to certain things. So once we figured that out, a lot of people I've heard people try all kind of things under the underarms, and some are successful at what they've tried, and some are not successful, and you need something. Some people can go with no deodorant. Some people cannot go without anything. And I will say, by far, one of the best products did not break me out, because I had an incident where some natural deodorant broke me out. I was like, ooh, we're not going to be able to do it. But
Jonathan too.
It lasts forever. I was like, what is this under my arm? But when I tried the Live Free deodorant, I mean, Simply Divine, it lasts. It doesn't change on you throughout the day. It stays true with you. And it allows you to do just what the name says, live free. So
that is good to hear. That's good to
you don't have to do a lot of reapplying, none of that. And so it does work out here in this 120 degree weather heat, because it is in the summertime here, it is in fact 120. So
wow.
That's not like just a statement, estimate. It's really 120. So Rochelle, tell us, how can we get these amazing products? You all have cleaning products, you all have hair products, you have this amazing hand sanitizer, you got deodorant, y'all got a little bit of everything. So how can we find the variety that you have?
Okay, so we have 4 local retailers here in Baton Rouge. One is Parker's Pharmacy on Florida Boulevard. We have Soul Food Pedicure Spa on Lopdale. We're at Old Path Natural Market in Central and H. Kyle Boutique in Gonzales. Online, we are www.livefreenhbc.com. And of course, also our social media channels, Facebook at Live Free NHBC, and the same is on Instagram at Live Free NHBC. And all of our products are available on our website, and we ship nationwide. And now is a good time to have products shipped. We're hoping soon to have some brand ambassadors and distributors. So hopefully we can grow an army and give people much more access to the product as well. But we'll probably have to wait until this whole quarantine is over so that we can actually have more access to our ingredients, so they won't be at a standstill.
Right. Well, I certainly say stay encouraged. As a person who got a few more years under it, you all are gonna be okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all gonna be all right. And I promise you, your loyal people, they're gonna hold it down for you. Obviously as in myself, we're gonna hold it down. So when we love brands, and once people have identified what works for them, they're loyal and true. And the more and you all are accessible. You know, as a small business, you're generally more accessible than a large business, right? So when you're more accessible, as long as you keep engaged with people, you're gonna be fine.
And we also have.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, and we also, we are running Live Free, and we're also preparing for our summer business, which is the Red Wagon School Supply Company. And so we're like, are the kids going to school? Are they going back to school? What's going on? Because we do concierge service for parents who don't want to shop for school supplies. So if you don't want to shop, you send us your school supply list, and we go shop for you. So that's our second business, which is completely different than Live Free.
Well, we're going to have to have y'all back on, because you know what? And I knew this. I knew this. I've known them for quite some time, y'all. So, but I know this. And so we're going to definitely have to get you on again, because we definitely need to talk about books and resources. A lot of people are going to be going back to work, doing a lot of overtime, trying to make up for this. This is going to turn into something, and a lot of students are going to possibly end up going to school through the summer, as well as preparing for back to school at the same time. So you definitely need to get ready, chicken sandwich, because this is going to be epic for you real soon. So we certainly want to get you back on, and I'm going to shoot you an email right after this, so that we can set another date, because that's going to be really important. Is helping people to find the resources that they need, because a lot of people are just not going to be up for it after this. So again, Rochelle is actually, and her husband are running 2 businesses. They're in stores, they're in magazines, they're everywhere. And they're two of the most humble people you will ever meet. You would never know that if they didn't tell you. And I think that's some of the key to your success is just being approachable, being real. And like you said, everything that you create it because of your own family. And then you just put it out there for everyone else. So we're almost like an extension of your family because we all get to experience what your family is experiencing. And I think that's really important. I hope that you all, anybody that's listening to Stiletto Talk podcast, I hope that you have learned something today about just work, home, balanced life. It can be done. As Rochelle stated, it's not always pretty. We certainly like to bring people on that provide you authentic stories. We don't want to sugarcoat anything for anyone, but it's possible. It's definitely a possibility. If you're at home and you're thinking about what am I going to do probably right now during this pandemic, writing a business plan should be somewhere in there, or actually revisiting your plan. And if you got it already, just start the business. Just get it started, because a lot of businesses have been started. And if you want to know some businesses that have been started, even just the last recession, I think the last time that many people were off and things were crashing and people didn't know what to do, Uber, Airbnb, these Slack. These are all things that are still running today. They were formed out of the lack of convenience of services provided at that time. So there's room for you at the table out here in the entrepreneur world. So definitely get out here and get started. So again, if you want to be on the show, think you got a story to tell similar to both of ours, the way that you can get on the show is by contacting me at contact@paulajhutchinson.com. Really important that you indicate that you're looking to be on the show. The second way for you to be on the show is also by, again, either sending that email, or you can actually go onto my website, www.paulajhutchinson.com. And from there, you can also do the same thing. Go on the contact us and then just make me aware that you're looking to be on the show. If you are looking to follow the show, definitely set your reminders on iTunes and Google Play under the Stiletto Talk podcast. And then go back and review some other people that have been on here before. I'm talking about just amazing people that are coming up with the most awesome ideas. And as you heard, we have someone who not only has natural products, but someone who has a concierge service for education. So that's just something that you don't hear every day. There are some people out here getting it done, living life, getting it done. We may not all be millionaires, but we're certainly all entrepreneurs. And this pandemic is going to level the playing field quite a bit. So now is the time for you to get back out there, because once we all get free, once we get ready to go back out again, it's certainly going to be time. So we're all going to be on the run. So again, definitely like us on podbean.com, stilettotalks.podbean.com. Share it, subscribe to it. We want as many people as possible to know about the businesses that we have on here, because they're all simply phenomenal. And I actually shop with every person that has been on here so far. So I don't just bring people on here that I don't know anything about and I don't care about. I shop with all of them, and I know them all. And so it's really been a pleasure and a delight to do business with all of them. As an entrepreneur myself, I also do business with other small business. Small business is this next big thing. And this is certainly going to excel that. The rate is going to speed up. So you definitely want to get in on that. So as always, thank you for joining Stiletto Talk podcast. And as always, if you do not need help, your vision is not big enough. Good night.